All right, so you guys remember the war reports? Like the first page is just these departments. So there's basically just 6 departments to like literally any business ever. Some people argue there's more. There's fucking not. They fall into one of these. So there's this marketing, which is how do we get people interested in our stuff. There's sales, which is how do we convert that interest into people buying our stuff. There's product, which is like what's the stuff. There's operations, which is how do we deliver the stuff. And there's finance, it's how do we make sure we're making money off of the stuff. And there's people, which is like literally who handles all of this stuff. So that's really it. And then basically all you do is you just go, okay, cool, what are the facts about the current situation? So for example, marketing is like, okay, we have a funnel that gets us leads for $4.20, Coles book for $28, and you list out all that stuff. And you go, cool, what do you want in the future? Which it could be, I don't know, maybe it would be, because we're getting into web design, maybe there's a funnel specifically for web design in the future. And then there's a KPI, which is just what's the main number that we had to focus on. This is easier in marketing and sales, and there's usually a bunch of KPIs that you measure, but you just want to kind of list one. So for example, marketing, I want Coles booked for less than $45. We average like 28, so that's really nice. But the other thing is once you set that KPI, like now we know that I can get Coles booked for $28 now. Now that's the new standard. So it's like, okay, how can we get like a little bit cheaper? And then there's key projects, which is like, okay, cool. How do we get from here to what we want to be in like 3 months' time? Most people do this on like a 3-month basis. I typically do it like on a bi-monthly basis. And you can actually break up key projects more. There's a separate page that like template that we use. But I don't really do it because I typically just do all this stuff anyway myself. And now where you focus is based on like where you're at. So if you're in a drive growth stage, which is sell more stuff, you focus on marketing, sales, and product. So getting people interested in the stuff, converting that interest into sales, and then like maybe introducing more products that you can sell. If that's like going too much, and like, so for example, like one of the KPIs for people is the TMI score. So I know if you guys are all at like an 8 out of 9, you need holidays and shit. I know to stop doing marketing and sales because we've got too many clients. And so you can influence it there. And then you start looking at enabling growth, which is, okay, do we need to take on more people? Do we need to train people? Or operations, which is like, okay, is there like, okay, so we were talking like an hour ago, the client content delivery system, which would make our lives a little bit easier. And then typically you'll do that and they go, okay, cool, like all of our ducks in a row. Let's focus on like driving growth. And then you just keep swapping between them basically. And then there's an extension to this. So I learned it as just like enable growth, drive growth, but I was watching a video recently, which is basically like all businesses do is just make promises and then deliver promises. And so if you're making promises, it's like marketing and sales, which is okay, what are we saying we're doing in ads? And then what am I promising them on traffic discovery sessions? And then there's just keeping promises, which is like, what does the product do? What does the service do? Does it actually do that? And then obviously you need operations, finance, and people to deliver all of that as well. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much just what we go through on like our war report. And you just ideally just want one number to look at each one. So for example, finance is like profitability, operations is typically like the overtime. So I know if you guys are doing overtime, then either we need to hire more people or there's some inefficiencies that we need to kind of look at and things like that. And that's pretty much it. So I do that on a bi-monthly basis. So like right now we're in an enable growth stage, which is, okay, we're doing like 30K a month, but we don't have everything in place that we need to go to like 40K a month. So it's like, okay, what needs to be done? So it might be like taking on like an account manager and things like that. And then once we do that, or for example, like sales is the next bottleneck because I do all the sales right now. So what I'm working on now, like one of the projects is building out the sales training and trying to find a person in sales that's really good. That's pretty much it. So all businesses is just making promises and delivering promises. And then you're either in a drive growth stage or an enable growth stage, and you just focus on those 3 departments whenever you're in that area. And that's how, and yeah, you just do that on a single page because if you do like 30-page business plans, like I said, there's just too much detail and it changes too quickly. And that's it. Any questions? So now that will hopefully make a little bit more sense in like the war report. And you can see how all the KPIs kind of interact with each other.